Welcome back, everybody, to the Boys Leadership Program. Let's get it going. Obviously, I'm Coach Hall. Coach Smith is on the line. Let's get this thing going. Tell me in the chat as fast as you can, what are you thankful for today? What are you thankful for today? Tell us in the chat, what are you thankful for? Are you thankful for your family, your friends? Give me some specifics, though. Give me some specifics. All right, talk to me about why you're thankful for your mom or your dad, or why you're thankful for to have a roof over your house. Give me some examples. Give me something that I can feel with my heart. Tell me why you're thankful. So many crazy things going on in the world, but we know every young man on this call is enjoying himself. So what are you thankful for? Tell me what you're thankful for. We'll throw up the graphic for you. What are you thankful for today? Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. Can you see those in the chat, Coach Smith? What they talking about in the chat, Coach Smith?
I got some teammates in here. We thankful for some teammates. All right. I got my family. I'm thankful for my family. All your family? Come on, man. I know it might be a cousin. You like, man, I don't know about him, man. My cousin crazy. I don't know. Nah. My family, we thankful for the family, all my family. I'm thankful for my mom. All right, because if she wasn't here, I wouldn't be here. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Somebody else talked about their mom as well. I'm thankful for my mom because she's always helping me out. Ain't that what they do, man? Salute to all the moms out there, man, and all the grandmas out there that's taking care of us, man, making sure that we have absolutely everything that we need. All right. Real quick, man, I want to thank you guys, or excuse me, I'm thankful for. I want to tell you guys what I'm thankful for. I kind of mentioned it early on, but just in case some of you guys tapped in late, man, just the freedom, right, that this country allows us to be able to move and to travel and to do different things. The accessibility for us, right, and the liberty for us just to go, right, just to go. Get outside of your comfort zone. Get outside of the city. Get outside of Columbus. Get outside of Ohio. Do and go somewhere different so that you can experience that. And I'm so thankful, man, that we can do that, right? We don't have to ask for permission to go. I mean, maybe you do, right? Because you're with your parents. But I mean, as far as I don't have to ask anyone, man, if I want to travel and go somewhere. And so make sure that you continue to have those liberties at your fingertips. Don't get in trouble because when you get in trouble, sometimes they certainly restrict you. Now, so that's what I'm thankful for today, Coach Hall.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So you know how we do it every week, being thankful. And we start out with that just to kind of balance everything out for us. With so many different things going on in our lives that we cannot control, what we can control are the things that we are thankful for, and our perspective on those things, the things that most people take for granted. So every single week, a lot of you all put, I'm thankful for my family, and I'm thankful for the little things, your roof over your head, the things we do take for granted. So I'm thankful that you guys are recognizing the real value and the true value in those things. Let's go ahead and move on. All right, let's transition into this before we hit on our main topic for today. All right, we'll take a couple minutes only on this. All right, look at this piece right here, our Minecraft for this particular week. All right, our Minecraft for this week, I believe it's on page 28. All right, it's on page 28 in your manual, so you could turn to that page if you want to. But here is another opportunity to see it on our screen right now. Our Minecraft for this week is reach out, reach out, reach out. Talk to me about what you see here with this gentleman as he reaches for his goals, as he reaches for his dreams. He's really trying to get those 3 or 4 different goals in that jar. Some people call it money. I call it goals, right? So he's going for the bag. Okay, so talk to me about this when you're reaching for your goals, when you have a target, an aim. Talk to me about it. What do you see in the chat? Tell me in the chat. All right. Good, good, good. Throw it in the chat. Tell me what you see, what you feel. Talk to me in the chat. Talk to me in the chat. Feel free, guys, to open up your videos too. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. You know, a lot of you guys were calling to be able to get on the video. All right. Don't worry about what's going on behind you. Just make sure you stay in focus. Turn your video on. We love seeing your faces, fellas. I know you might be having some things going on, but just make sure you're in a quiet place. Go ahead and turn your videos on. All right. Make sure we know who you are, what you see. Tell me in the chat. What do you see in the chat? Talk to me in the chat. We won't be on this quickly, but tell me what you see off the video. All right. Christian Copen said, taking the easy way out. Taking the easy way out. Explain that, Christian. Go ahead. Talk to us in the chat. Tell us what you mean by taking the easy way out. Give me some feedback. Same thing. Okay. using the easiest way. Okay, okay. I'm starting to see where you guys are going with it. I'm starting to see where you're going with it. What else? What else? What else? Go ahead, take the moment to just type a little bit. Talk to me a little bit. All right. RJ says wisdom and being smart and making good choices will get you to your goals. Okay, wisdom and being smart. Okay, so he's saying the books are wisdom and being smart. Mr. Forbes said going down the right path. Okay, so that means if he's going down the right path, that means that iPad is the wrong path. Okay. He said that iPad is the wrong path. What else you got in the chat? Use your words, fellas. Use your words. Good grammar, good punctuation. All right. Give me some real thoughts. Knowledge help you reach your goals. Okay, Q. All right. Knowledge helps you reach your goals. I agree with that. I agree with that, Coach Smith. I agree with that. Knowledge helps you reach your goals. It's amazing though how many people don't like to read where the knowledge is, where the knowledge is. All right. Give me one more. Give me one more. So I'm gonna turn it over to Coach Smith in a second to get his opinion on this, and then I'm gonna give you mine. Then we're gonna move on to our give me our challenges push you beyond your limits. Okay. All right. Challenges push you beyond your limits. Okay. What he's trying to reach for is challenging, and he had to figure out a way to get there, moving beyond his limits. Okay, Obi threw in something. The internet is not good to use for your info. You should use books. Okay, you can use both, but I feel you, Obi. I feel you. I feel you. You could definitely use more books than just get on the internet. All right. Being smart by stacking the books to get his goals. Love it, love it, love it, Mr. Napier. Good, good, good. What about you, Coach Smith? What you got on this one?
Man, I see a couple things, man. I see a couple things. The one real quickly that stands out, man, is they seem to me, I look at it, I see maybe the same person. Guy on the left obviously has been resourceful, has been smart enough, like, as you guys mentioned, to go get some books. But the first thing that just jumped out is I see his hand like overarching on the cup, like his hand is folded over. When I first seen it, it was almost like go gadget hand, go gadget arm. It was like, man, how did his hand reach that much farther? Yeah, he's standing on some books, but it just looks like he's got a little extra reach, right? It looks like he went a little farther than maybe he thought he could as the guy on the right. He's stretching, he's reaching, and I just can't get it. But sometimes when you get that little extra push, when you get that little bit of extra confidence, that little boost, you're able to go farther and reach over than what you ever thought you could imagine in the first place. So that's the first thing I see, man. Just that confidence, just that boost, just that knowledge, and he's able to go farther and reach, extend over that cup. The other thing, though, really quickly that I see, man, is even though the guy on the left, he went and got some books and he went and got some information, he went and got some knowledge, he went and figured out how he could elevate himself, he still seems like he can't see what he's reaching for. Still feels like he can't see what he's reaching for. And so sometimes we do that in life, right? Like we're trying to go after something and we really don't know what it is. We think we may know what it is. We think we may know what's in that jar, but we really can't see it. And so we really have no idea, but yet we still reach for it, right? Like, yo, I'm reaching for this new belt that I want, man, because everybody is wearing it, but I really don't know how that's gonna make me feel. I just see everybody else doing it, so I'm gonna try to reach for it. And it's a lot of different instances that, man, we may be reaching for something where we really don't see it as clearly as maybe we should, and so it is important that this guy went and got 1, 2, 3, 4 books to stand on. Maybe if he would have got one more book, right? What if he would have got one more book? What if he went that extra step and figured out one more resource that he could apply to his situation to not only get in a position to reach whatever he wants, but to see whatever he's reaching for? Because I don't know what's in that jar. It may be something, it could be a spider in that jar, right? That he's just reaching his hand over blindly, right? And not being able to see it and may mess around and get bit. So take the time, right, to go and get the knowledge you need, not only so you can get there, but you can see yourself, all right, in that position, man. It might help you out.
No, there you go. You see how? Hey, listen. If Coach Smith nobody talk about, throw a one in the chat. Throw a one in the chat for Coach Smith. He sound like you know a little bit.
Woo!
He sound like you know a little bit. Make sure you sending
We,
it to the entire group. Send it to
we call
everyone. Throw a one
we
in the
call that
chat. Throw a
we
one
call
in the
that
chat for Coach
easy
Smith.
money. We
All
call
right.
that easy money, Coach Hall.
Yeah. You know what? Throw a easy money in the chat. Write out easy money for Coach Smith. Throw a easy money in the chat.
Easy.
Easy money. All right. Love it. Love it. Love it. I see you. I see you. Obi. Easy money. I see you. I see you. I see you. All right. Now, quickly for me, as we still got the screen up, as you guys can see, the biggest thing that I take from this is really simple. Um, That iPad is not designed to be standing on. Um, and books aren't even necessarily created to be stood on. And so the goal is, if you go from Coach Smith's perspective, if I'm Coach Smith, and this is probably what he would have did, he would have read those books and probably would have found out and determined that he could build some steps to get up to that thing in that jar. He probably could have went and knocked on or pulled on his dad's coattail, or somebody a little bit taller, maybe somebody who had a better perspective. And the books would have told him that you can't do everything by yourself. And he probably would have contacted somebody that had a better perspective to could see what was inside of that jar. That iPad, I know Obi said don't use the internet for all information, and that was a good perspective. The internet is a good source at times, but not for everything, to Obi's point. And so you could take that iPad and use it for what it was intended for, but an iPad or books alone are not going to be enough to get you to your goals or your dreams. At some point in time, as Coach Smith said, you're going to have to work a little bit harder, and you're going to have to stretch beyond what you thought you could in order to reach what you want to reach. You guys being on this call at 6:45 in the evening on a Sunday is you stretching just a little bit more to get closer to your goals. So I'm proud of you for that. But never forget that those books, you got to read them. They're not used and intended to be able to stand on, right? And even if you read them, you got to take the knowledge and apply it. So any of those books, here's the thing with the internet. You could use the internet to Google the video to show you how to build some steps, or to build something to get you to the next level, or figure out a way to use a trampoline to jump on top so you can see whatever you want to do. You can get creative from that standpoint. You can get the basics from the book. You can get ideas from the internet. You put those two together, you can have what you want. But just use the knowledge, use the tools that you have for what they were intended for, and not to take the easy way out. All right. That was, if that whole Minecraft was helpful, throw a two in the chat. Throw a two in the chat. All right, we got about 25 minutes to go over what's one of we might take 2 weeks to do it, but fellas, this is a really, really important piece. All right, keep those twos coming. Keep those twos coming. Keep those twos coming. All right, keep those twos coming. Now, we're gonna go ahead and dive into this. One of the most important parts, fellas, all right, is gonna be our goal sheets. Gonna be our goal sheets. All right. So I want you to turn over to page 11. Turn to page 11 in your workbook. Once you are on page 11 in your workbook, put a 3 in the chat. Once you're on, I see you, Audie, spelling out too. I see you. All right. Once you're on page 11, throw a 3 in the chat. Once you're on page 11, throw a 3 in the chat. Once you're on page 11, let's get it going. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Page 11. I see one. I see two threes. Turn to page 11. Give me page. I need you on page 11. Throw a 3 in the chat if you're on page 11, ready to go. Ready to go. Okay. You see page 11 is our goal sheet. It's our goal sheet. And you're like, man, this is a lot of things to fill in. I don't really understand it. Okay. But we're going to get some practice in. We're going to get some practice in. We're going to get some practice in. Okay. We're going to get some practice in. Now, first and foremost, I need to lay out exactly what a goal is. All right. So tell in the chat, tell me in your own words what a goal is. All right. Tell me what it is. All right. Tell me just as simply as you can. What is a goal? As simply as you can. As simply as you can. Tell me what your definition of a goal is. As simply as you can. Okay. Because I need to know what you guys think a goal is before I tell you the basic, a dream you want to reach. Good. Something to get to. Good. Something you want to get in life or accomplish. A goal, your dream is your dream to achieve. All right. Your dream, your goal. Okay. Okay. Something you're trying to achieve. Something you're trying to achieve. I see your message, Javier. Got to figure that out. Something you're determined to achieve. Something you're trying to achieve. Good, Cato. All right. Good, good, good. Okay, something we want to achieve. All right, so everybody's pretty much saying the same thing. Okay. I want you to write these couple words down, not on that sheet. You can write on the back side of it. Okay. All right. A goal, all right, is what you want to happen with your life. Write that down. Simplified version. A goal is what you want to happen with your life. Now, you have small goals and you have big goals, but it's what you want to happen in your life today, what you want to happen in your life tomorrow, what you want to happen in your life 15 years from now, what type of job you want to have, what you want to do for a living, what kind of family you want to have, what sports you want to play, or what business you want to go into when you get older, what college you want to go to, who you want to score a touchdown for, how many touchdowns you want to score, what grades you want to have, what you want your GPA to be. Okay? Those are all goals. What you want to happen. Another word I want you to use is the word target. I want you to write the word target down. Write the word target down. Write it down somewhere. Write the word target down. So we know if you're aiming at something, right? It's to aim, a target, right? If you're pulling back a bow and arrow and you let that boy go, you want to hit the target. You want to hit the target. So a goal is a target. It's really why we're working the way that we're working. And so when you go to school, you should have goals while you're in school. I am doing all this work because I want to get a certain grade. I want to get a certain result. If I have an opportunity to get 100 points out of 100 points, I'm going to be doing everything I possibly can do to get 100 out of 100. Yes, you might get 98 and that's fine. You might get 90 and that's good. But the goal has to be, I want to give the best of the best. See, the whole reason why school grades you on things is so that you in your mind can figure out how important is it for you to get closest to your goal that you want to get to. So if you can get to 100 out of 100, it doesn't necessarily mean you're smarter than everybody. It's just meaning you're willing to put in the work. Because if you're willing to put in the work on your grades, that means you're probably willing to put in the work on the field or on the court, right? Or playing your instrument or doing whatever it is that you love to do. Some of you guys want to learn how to cook really well. You want to be a chef, right? So you got to discipline yourself to be the best of the best in everything. And goals help you do that. So we're on page 11, and I'm gonna bring up our goal sheet here for you guys to see. Okay, I'm gonna bring up your goal sheet for you guys to see here. Now, as you guys can see, all right, we have different categories for these goals. But before we go any further, I want you to write down. I want you to write down. Um, I want you to write down the word smart. 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 Write down the word smart. It's the first thing I want you to do is write down the word smart. Because our goals have to be more than just goals. I'm going to teach you how to do what's called SMART goals. SMART goals. So the S is for specific, all right? The S is for specific. Okay? So write down the word specific. Specific, specific, specific. Okay? Has to be specific. Okay? SMART goals has to be specific. All right? The M is for measurable. Measurable. All right. It needs to be measurable. All right. Measurable. Coach, I don't know how to spell it. You or just write down the best you can and Google it later and make sure you're spelling it the right way. All right. Measurable. Measurable, measurable, measurable. The A has to be attainable. 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 A is for attainable. These are SMART goals. S for specific, M for measurable, A for attainable. R is for realistic. Is it realistic? If you say, Coach, I want to grow 6 inches by tomorrow, that's not realistic. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. RJ, you're not going to grow 6 inches overnight tonight. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. R is for realistic. R is for realistic. And then last but not least, the T is for timely or time. T is for timely. All right. Has to be timely or a time associated with it. All right. So we said specific, then we said measurable, and then we said attainable or achievable, either or. I've heard both. R is for realistic, and then T is for timely. So if I just say my goal is to make it to the NBA, all right, that's a good goal to have, but that's not a smart goal. All right, so let's break that down. I want to go to the NBA. Is that specific? Yeah, maybe. All right, but not really. It's not specific enough. Okay, is that measurable? Can I measure whether or not I go to the NBA? Well, not at 12, not at 13, right? You can't even possibly make it to the NBA until you're 18 or 19. Is that achievable or attainable? Yeah, you can say it is. All right. Is it realistic? Possibly. Chances are slim, but it's still a realistic goal. Is there a time associated with it? No, there is no time. So that's a very general goal. So what happens, fellas, is we will set a goal like, I want to be a millionaire. I want to make it to the NFL. I want to own my own business. I want to make my own shoe. But what does that mean? It's just so open-ended. It just gives us like our whole life to get to that goal. I want to go to the NBA. What does that mean? You want to go to an NBA game? you you want to go to an NBA game? I want to play in the NBA. Okay. Do you mean the National Basketball Association? Or do you mean the National Bricklayers Association? Right? So these are different goals that you can have, but they're so general, they're not smart. But what if I said, my goal is to, by the age of 18 or 19, to spend 2 years at The Ohio State University and then be drafted into the NBA in the first round um, by the year that 2026 or whenever you guys graduate. Okay. Now that's a big goal. And so we would take that and then break it down even further. And we have to take our big goal and break it down to what we have to do right now. Okay. So for example, give me a goal. All right, let's look at our goal sheet here. On the left, it says a couple different categories. There's an ethical, an educational or school, a personal and family goal, a physical conditioning goal, which just means like lifting weights or getting in shape, and then a caring and giving goal. Okay. We're going to start in the educational section. So everybody put a star next to that word education and school. Let's start with education and school. All right. So in the chat, give me a goal for education in school. Just give me a goal. Now, this says, as you guys are writing, I'm going to be reading, but give me your goal for school. This says, utilizing the skills I possess, I will add value to my life through the work that I do. I also understand my grades do not define who I am, but the effort that I put in does. Okay. So some people like, okay, most of the time, fellas, if you put in the right effort, your grades would be pretty decent. All right. Most people have bad grades, not because they're bad students. They just don't put in the work. Okay. So that's first and foremost. So give me an educational goal for you all, like something that could be a goal. Now, I'm gonna use it as a sample. If you give me a educational goal, I'm gonna use it as a sample. So when I break these things down, okay, we'll make sure we're getting going. Okay. So Felton, I'll start with Felton. All right. So Felton, I'm not picking on you. We're just gonna break this down. So to get an A in every class, that's a goal. All right. My goal is to get an A in every single class. Okay. Very broad. Is that specific? Is that specific? Okay. I would say yes. All right. To get an A in every class. Okay. Now, I would probably break that down a little bit further and figure out what the percentage is that you have to get. So if an A is at least a 90% in every class, I would start out by my goal is to have at least a 90% in each one of my classes. Okay. So that's specific. All right. So let's break that down. My goal is to have at least a 90% in each one of my classes. All right. That's specific. Absolutely. All right. Is that measurable? Absolutely, is measurable. All I got to do is look at your look at your grades. You got below an A, then you're not reaching your goals. Okay, great. So that's specific and it's measurable. Is that attainable? Is that attainable, Felton? Yes or no? Can you actually get an A in every one of your classes, Felton? All right, tell me yes or no, Felton. Can you actually get an A in all of your classes? All right, Felton says yes. So therefore, it's achievable. That's achievable. I know some people that have gotten A's in all their classes before. We're using Felton's as an example, okay? So right now it's I want to at least get a 90%, which is an A, in every one of my classes. So we said it's specific. Yes, it's measurable. Yes, it's achievable. Is that realistic though? Is that realistic for you to get an A in every class, or is you just throwing it out because it sounds good? Talk to me, Felton. Is that realistic for you to actually get an A in every class? Is that realistic? Or do you know like you hate studying, you don't like school, you mad at your teacher all the time? Is that realistic? Right? Or are we just throwing it out there because it sounds good? Because talk to me, Felton, yes or no? Because a lot of times, fellas, what we do is we like making goals that sound good. All right, thanks, Felton. Felton says yes. Thumbs up to that. We like making goals that sound good. Like, oh, I want to be a famous because it sounds good. Or I want to do because it sounds good. These goals, when you make specific and smart goals, fellas, these goals have to be something that means something to you and you're serious about. Okay. So Felton's goal right now is I want to have at least a 90%, which is an A in each one of my classes. Okay. We said it's specific. We said it's measurable. We said it's achievable or attainable. We said it's realistic. Now, is there a time frame associated with it? Yes or no from everybody? Is there a time frame associated with that? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? No, 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 no. Nope. No time frame. No time frame. Right. It's no time frame right now. Right now, it just says, I want to get an A in all my classes. Now, I could assume, Felton, that you mean this year, but maybe you mean next year. Maybe you mean when you get to high school. Maybe you mean when you're in college. Okay. So we want to say, right? Or do you mean this entire year or do you mean this particular quarter or semester? I think most of you guys are on quarters. So do you mean this quarter? So you're like, hey, I want to make sure my goal is to have a 90% or an A in each one of my classes for this quarter. That's a goal. Okay. Now, Felton, you said for the whole year, what I would have you to do is start with this period of time right now. So instead of looking at your whole year, focus on right now. Okay, so how do like it's like saying again, I want to go to the NBA. That's cool, but how you gonna make it to the NBA? You can't even make your own school team. So we got some work to do. How you gonna have a goal of making it to the NBA? You can't even make the travel team, right? And it's not saying that you won't ever make it. It's just saying that you're gonna have to work to get there. So instead of saying I want to go to the NBA off top, the first goal should be I need to get my handles right. Bro, I'm turning the ball over left and right. I can't even dribble. I need to learn how to dribble before I can go to the NBA. You can have it up there like, okay, my ultimate, you have a picture of LeBron on your wall. That's great. But if I want to make it big time, I need to start where I am. So Felton, this is your new goal to write down. And I'm using Felton as the example, but when you guys do your goals, I want you guys to do it this way. So Felton, your new goal is my goal is to have at least a 90%. And then in parentheses, you could put A. My goal is to have a 90%, um, which is an A, in each one of my classes by the end of this quarter. By the end of this quarter. So now, in a month or so, when the quarter ends, you'll be able to see whether or not you have that A. You'll be able to see whether or not you have that A. Now, that's the first goal for Felton under education. Now, everybody's going to have 3 goals, but that's one of his education goals. Now, the second piece of the puzzle is the part that people miss, fellas. This is the part that people miss. If this is helpful so far, though, all right, I want you to put a 4 in the chat. We're on 4. Throw a 4 in the chat if this is helpful so far on these goals. Because a lot of people don't tell you how to write goals, but I'm showing you how to write a real goal. All right, I'm showing you how to write a real goal. Love it, fellas. Love it. Love the feedback. Love the feedback. Let's go. All right, here we go. Now, Audie put he said, my goal is to give Evan more effort in school or more effort to give more effort in school than I'm already giving, plus try to get at least an A at the end of the year. Okay, now let's break down all these real quick before I come up with the second piece. Okay. So Audie said, my goal is to give more effort in school. Now, the very first problem with saying things that are general, fellas, like more effort. So what does more effort mean? Does more effort mean I'm gonna study like 2 hours or 1 hour? Does more effort in school mean I'm gonna ask 3 questions every class period? Does more effort mean I'm gonna read more books? I'm gonna read for an hour. Does more effort mean I'm gonna go to my teacher's office hours? You have to define what more effort is, okay? And so if I say I just want to give more effort, I'm not being specific, because more effort isn't specific. Because more effort to me might be different from more effort to Alex or more effort to Armani. Like, more effort is just more effort. We got to define what more effort is. So that would be the first part. In school than I'm already giving now, plus try to get at least an A by the end of the year. Okay. So the A by the end of the year, I would again start right now. So if you have like a C in the class, my first goal is to go from a C to like a C plus, or a C to a B. And then once I get to a B from a B or a B minus to a B, then from a B to a B plus, then from a B plus to an A minus, from an A minus to an A. And that's how you want to go. It's kind of hard, fellas, to jump from a D to an A. Matter of fact, a lot of people give up on their goals, even if they're really, really small. They give up on them because they're so far away. It's like, if I already got a D, how am I gonna get all the way up to an A, right? Or Coach Hall, I didn't even make the team. How am I gonna make it to the NBA? And they just give up on their dreams. So you got to make these things really, really small, and things that you can actually accomplish along the way. Okay. So, Audie, what I would say to you, instead of saying my goal is to give more effort, I would get extremely specific. One of my educational goals would be this: I am going to study the work that I'm given for at least an extra hour each day. And then I'm going to ask at least 2 questions each day in all my classes. Okay. That's giving more effort. So now you can look: did I ask 2 questions today in all my classes? Did I study for that extra hour today, or did I not? Okay. So we got to get extremely specific. All right. If that made sense to you guys, throw a 5 in the chat. Throw a 5 in the chat if that made sense. Because now I'm going to give you the second part of it. You guys are awesome, by the way. You guys are awesome. We got about 3 or 4, maybe 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to get you off of here, fellas. I know it's a long, long, long week for you. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Listen up, fellas. Real quick. Let me just tell you this: that everybody on this call, you guys are some beasts, man. Right? You guys are some beasts, and you have what it takes. All right. Matter of fact, everybody type in the chat, I have what it takes. Okay. I have what it takes. Throw it in the chat. I have what it takes. I need you guys to know who you guys are, man. You guys are young princes, man. All right. You need to know who you are. I don't care what people have told you in the past. You might be dealing with something that's extremely challenging right now, right? School might be tough for you, but you guys are young princes, and you have what it takes. You have what it takes. Don't allow anyone to tell you that you can't reach for your goals and actually touch them. Like, I don't like, you guys are young princes, fellas. Don't allow anyone to tell you that you can't reach your goals. Matter of fact, let them tell you, just don't believe them. And then you go ahead and put in the work, fellas. But you guys have what it takes. You guys are young, awesome leaders. You have what it takes. Don't allow anybody to steal that from you. You can control that part. You have exactly what you need to get to where you want to be. It just takes a little bit of focus, and you got to make sure you guys understand the process. So I just wanted to make sure I told you guys that. All right, you guys are some beasts. You got what it takes, man. I don't care what they tell you. You got what it takes. So last but not least, we understand this SMART goal piece. Got to be specific, has to be measurable, has to be achievable or attainable. Okay, has to be realistic, and has to have a time associated with it. Time associated with it. The next piece of the puzzle is on the right, fellas. So in the middle, it talks about goals and dreams. On the right, it talks about your plan. Now, again, I think Q and Javier, I think you guys said you don't have your workbooks. This is the first time Coach Hall has heard about this, so I want to try and figure out why you don't have one, or we got to figure that out, because you should have one by now. Um, and we'll get that going. But in the middle, again, it says goals and dreams. On the right, it says my plan. Now, again, if Felton's goal, fellas, follow me here. We're almost done. Follow me here. If Felton's goal was, I want to have at least a 90% or an A in every one of my classes by the end of this quarter. If that's his goal, he needs to have a plan with it. And this is the part that they always forget to tell you. They say, write down your goal. That's cool. But what's your plan? How you gonna have a goal without a plan? Okay. What is your plan? Everybody, back in the day, probably about 5, 6 years ago, was this movie called Frozen out, and it was like, do you want to build a snowman? Bro, how you gonna build a snowman when you live in California? It ain't no snow. Like, like it's 90. You can't build a snowman in the middle of the summertime. What are you talking about? Do we want to build a snowman? No, it's hot. I'm sweating. Ain't no snow outside. What are you talking about? So it's no difference with a goal. It's no difference with a goal. You can have a goal, but if you don't have a plan or the tools, ain't no sense even like talking about it. Okay. That's why it has to be realistic. So if Felton's goal, again, before I let you guys off, again, if Felton's goal is to get at least a 90%, which is an A, on in all his classes for the rest of the quarter, and then he could change it again next quarter and say the same thing. He has to have a plan. So the plan could be, here's some examples for the plan. Okay. Give me, matter of fact, you guys tell me some specific things that Felton can do to make sure he gets that A. Don't say study more. I need to know. I need something specific. What can he do? What can he do to get that A? Give me a part of a plan. Tell me in the chat. If it was you and you wanted to get an A, what can you do? Ask more questions, pay extra attention in class. These aren't specific. All right. I can listen. What does it mean to listen? What does it mean to pay more attention? I don't know what that means. All right. Ask more questions. How many questions should he ask? All right. How do you pay more attention, RJ? Does that mean you write things down more? Does that mean you write things down? Okay. Work harder to his goal. Well, how can he work harder to his goal? Ask for extra. Okay. That's the first. Okay, Obi. That's perfect. That's perfect right there. Ask for extra credit. All right. That's part of the plan. Felton, write that down. Ask for extra credit. Okay. Okay. Brian said, listen. All right. How do I know if I'm listening though? Do I need to put down my device to give me? All right. Put in extra work. Put in extra. How many hours, Savion? Put in extra hours doing homework. Extra hours? Hours a long time. Okay. How many hours? Follow along with the teacher. I like that, Javier. Write that down, Felton. Part of your plan, follow along with everything that your teacher is doing. Okay, let me see what Audie said. Ask for help to parents, friends, teachers. Okay, ask us. Okay, there you go. All right, so now we got it. Now we starting to get it. Okay, now we starting to get it. All right, so I got ask your parents or your friends or your teachers for as much help as you can. So if you don't know something, don't be afraid to ask for help. Okay, so number one, ask for help. Number two, I would say add at least, this is what I do. This is what Cato likes to do. This is what Cato likes. Like you guys like to play video games and stuff like that. It's hard to study for like 2 hours straight or an hour straight. So what Cato likes to do is study for like 30 minutes or 25 minutes. So you go up and you say if your teacher says, for example, hey man, you got to read a whole chapter and that chapter is like 20 pages in the book. Instead of trying to read 20 pages straight, why not read like 3 or 4 pages and then come back later, read 3 or 4 more, come back later, read 3 or 4 more. By the end of the day, you got all pages done and you didn't have to like do it for an hour straight. So Felton, for your goal, we said put in extra hours. I would say, Felton, I would add, for like if you played a video game for an hour or hour and a half, then I would do like 30 minutes or 45 minutes of extra studying. So every time, for every hour that you guys play the video game, you should offset it with at least 30 minutes on your schoolwork. And let me tell you why before I let you guys go. Don't you know that at some point in time, somebody had a goal, or whatever video game you guys play or whatever sport you guys play, somebody had a goal and that was somebody's idea. Somebody wrote it down. I want to come up with a video game that does this. So a lot of guys like playing Fortnite. You may not play it. You may not be allowed to play it. I'm not sure. But a lot of guys like playing Fortnite or 2K or whatever it may be. That's somebody's idea. And now you're playing the video game, which makes you make them rich. The more time you spend playing video games, the more time you're actually making somebody else money. Don't you guys understand that? The more time that you spend playing video games, the more you're adding to somebody else's idea. And somebody wrote down a long time ago, my plan is I'm going to come up with a game that's so good, I'm going to have young men playing for hours, and I'm going to have them playing so much that they don't even have time to come up with their own ideas or their own goals. Isn't that crazy? So you guys are playing all this time on Madden and 2K. You're playing all these video games, but that was somebody else's idea. And part of their plan was to make the game so good that you guys couldn't come up with your own ideas on your own. And so what I'm saying is, if you're going to play somebody else's goal and play somebody else's idea, because that's what it is. You're not playing a game, you're playing somebody else's goal. If you're going to play their goal and play in their plan, then I need to at least give myself 30 minutes or half of that to come up with my own strategy. Okay. So again, love video games, but you guys got to make sure you put that same time in to your own goals and your own plan. Okay. So come up with a plan. I need specific plans. So Felton, I would say add at least 30 minutes to every hour that you spend playing basketball, or you playing football, or you watching TV, or you playing video games. Add 30 minutes. Also, part of your plan is to ask for help when you need it. Also, if you need extra credit, like Obi said, get extra credit. And then I would also add, ask at least 2 questions every class period, even if you get them wrong. And who cares if somebody laughs at you? Ask at least 2 questions every class period you have about something. Ask at least 2 questions. Here's an example. Say you even know the answers. So you say, raise your hand. Okay, great. Mrs. Applebee's. I know Mrs. Applebee's. You got a restaurant named after you. Is your last name really Mrs. Applebee's, or you just like to eat at Applebee's? It could be whatever question you want it to be, but you got to get comfortable talking to your teacher. You got to get comfortable talking to your teacher. If this is helpful, throw a 5 in the chat. Throw a 5 in the chat. Throw a 5 in the chat if that was helpful. Throw a 5 in the chat as we close down. Okay. Last but not least, here's your homework, fellas. Here's your homework. By next week, okay, I want you to have at least 3 educational goals that are SMART goals and a plan to go with them. I just want you to do the educational section. Don't fill out the whole thing. Everybody hear me? Do not fill out the whole thing. Only fill out the educational portion of it. 3 educational goals that I want you guys to have, okay, and a plan to go with them. I need a specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely, okay? I need time associated with it, okay? Thank you, guys. If you didn't put your size in the chat before you go, then do it. If not, fellas, have a great week, great start. We'll see you guys next week. Coach Smith will be back live and in person next week as well. Get that goal sheet done. This is for you, nobody else. All right, peace out.